Hey everybody, it's Steamboat 28, and we're back for the third and final portion of this three-part on holy crap, I've been so stressed, that's why I haven't updated. And this time we're going to talk about meditation. We've talked about stress in the first part. We talked about emotion in the second part, which can exacerbate stress. If you don't know what exacerbate means, it means it makes it really, really bad. It makes everything worse. And now we're going to talk about meditation. There are many different types of meditation. Don't assume automatically that I'm talking about the sitting in the lotus position with your hands in a mudra going om, om. You know, I'm not necessarily talking about having an open mind or blissing out. I'm talking about meditation in general. And it's a lot more general term than Westerners typically want to associate with it. The word meditation, when we hear it, we think about transcendental meditation, typically speaking, or we think of some kind of Eastern meditation, Buddhist meditations, Zen Buddhism, or Hindu, or something like that. But really, the word meditation just means to turn something over in your mind, if I'm not mistaken. There are a lot of different Meditari. How about that? Yeah. Oh, contemplated. From Latin meditat, contemplated, from the verb meditare, from a base meaning measure related to me. That's kind of cool. But the definition of meditation is to just kind of focus your mind on something, to turn something over in your mind, focus on a particular aspect. And the Latin root just means that you're measuring that thing. Basically, with your mind, you're just going to go over it and over and over it. So meditation can be a lot more general than people give it credit for. I'm going to try in the box below, the info box below, to give you a link to my favorite video on meditation. It's this, I call him Chubby Ang. I'm not sure what his name is, but he's Mingyur Rinpoche. He's I don't know. He's a monk, and he gives this talk about what meditation really means, and it's the cutest thing in the world. I never really understood it until I saw it. I mean, I got it. I've been doing meditation for a while, of one form or another, but I didn't really get it. It didn't really click why things work the way they work until he started talking about it. And it's great, and I want to share it with you, and he's a wonderful human being, and he's very funny, and I love it. So I'll try to put that in the box below. But the goal of meditation is ultimately knowledge of a thing. And most of the time, not all of the time, most of the time, when we meditate, we're going for knowledge of ourself. We're trying to get to know ourself. We're trying to understand our own mind, understand our own heart, our feelings, and our emotions, and our thoughts and thought patterns, and our biases, and just everything that makes us who we are. Most of the time when Mitchell Fox, take two. All right. Most of the time when we meditate, that's what we're doing. We're trying to get in touch with knowledge of ourselves. Now, there are times you'll hear Christians say meditate on the scripture, and that's what they mean. Take the scripture and meditate on that instead of yourself. Contemplative prayer is meditation on the wonder of God, rather than on any specific internal thing. So there are lots of different kinds of meditation, but it's all meditation is concerned with knowledge of a thing through focus. And most meditation is about self-knowledge through self-focus. So what kinds of meditation are there? There are lots of different kinds of meditation. There are what I call trivial meditations, things that you do every day, or occasionally, maybe they're a special treat for you, but things that you do that require your full attention. And real quick, I'm just going to drop into the talk about mudras, mantras, mandala. Mandala are sacred images, but a lot of people have extrapolated that term to mean a visual mantra, like a picture mantra, which I'll explain mantras in a moment. Mudras are a physical hand shape, something like a tangible mantra. And a mantra itself is a phrase that's a repeated phrase over and over and over that supplies the focus. So mantras are vocal focus, and mudras are tangibly focused, and mandala are visibly focused. And these are some of the ways in which we can focus our minds. There are other ways as well. Incense works. Sound works, is very effective. But I wanted to briefly gloss over that before we talk about the trivial meditations. One of the trivial meditations that I am fond of, this is my little one, I have a big Gandalf pipe too, is pipe smoking. I dropped it. It's pipe smoking. Not because I like to smoke, look at me, how badass am I, but it just kind of goes with the beard though. But the reason that I enjoy pipe smoking is because there's a ritual to it. You tamp the tobacco down, and then you tamp it down again, and you tamp it down in a certain way, and you light it once, and you let it burn a little bit, and then you light it a second time, and then it's this whole ritual, and you have to focus on every part of it. You have to concentrate on every part of it, or at least I do. I don't know if you have to, but I do. And that, to me, focuses my mind on what I'm doing. And when we focus our active mind on something, on a mudra, a mantra, a mandala, a scent, a sound, a thought, when we focus our mind on a thing like that, what we're doing is we are catching it in a loop. We're catching our active conscious mind in a loop, keeping it busy long enough so that we can talk to our subconscious, to learn those deep, dark, buried things about ourselves that we don't normally want to think about. It's like handing someone a Rubik's Cube, like a bouncer at the door, long enough for you to walk into the club. Here, solve this, and then you walk into the club. I'm not sure that works. I've never tried that before. I'm going to get a Rubik's Cube. We're going to find out. But that's basically what any type of meditation aid does for you. It busies your active mind so that your active mind doesn't interrupt your conversation with your subconscious mind. The conscious is busy, so it won't interrupt. Dishes. When I hand wash dishes, when I choose to hand wash dishes, I make that a meditative act. If I don't need the meditation or the hassle of hand washing dishes, I will throw them in the dishwasher. Tea, making tea, serving tea. I'm the only one I drink tea with regularly. All my other tea drinking friends are distant enough that I can't have them over for tea parties often. But even so, I got a teapot, and I got a little cup and a little saucer, and I make my tea. And I do it slowly, I do it deliberately. Everything I do is deliberately. Beekeeping for me has been tremendously, trivially meditative because I have to move very slowly. All of my actions and motions are very precise because otherwise you'll startle the bees. A friend of mine swears up and down that the best way to handle your problems is to buy a motorcycle. Because while you're on that motorcycle, it's you, that motorcycle, and the pavement, and nothing else can exist, or you are going to screw up. And you're probably going to die. And to me, that would be very meditative as well. If it's exactly as he described it, I would jump on board with that. Then we have casual practice. Casual practice is things like yoga. I mean, you're focusing on the physicality of your body to the ignorance of the rest of your problems. Tai Chi is kind of a casual practice. Sitting down and vegging out in front of video games like Tetris, something repetitive like that, can be a casual practice. And when you get into formal practices, then you start maybe timing your meditation. Maybe you have a bell or a gong or something, or a stopwatch, or an app. I use the Insight Timer app. They're not paying me to say this, but I think you should get it. It's super handy, and there are a lot of people that I know that use it. But that's the kind of thing that you're dealing with. A lot of people think that when you start out, there's a lot of different ways to approach meditation, and a lot of people think that you have to empty your mind of thoughts. That's the worst way to start meditation. Don't empty your mind of thoughts, because as soon as you tell your mind to be empty, it will start thinking about emptiness. Then it will think of other things that are like emptiness, like an empty glass. And then it'll think, what can I fill that glass with? And then it starts thinking about orange juice. And you think, if I had some vodka, I could make some screwdrivers. Oh, that party last week was great. And then you get frustrated with yourself and try to empty your mind again. Clear your mind. Clear, like bubble wrap. Oh, bubble wrap is fun to pop. I could really do without stress if I had bubble wrap stuff. Oh, wait, no, I have bubble wrap. Oh, but it's for that package I have to send. And then you get frustrated again and you push it all out. And that happens every single time. Beginners do not try to empty or clear your mind. That is an advanced meditative practice. If you try it now, it will piss you off. So just instead, try to either focus your mind or unfocus your mind. When you focus your mind, you do things like we talked about earlier. You busy your mind. You wash dishes, or you make tea, or you fill your pipe, or you do Tai Chi, or you do your yoga, or whatever it is that you do. Listen to the radio, whatever it is you do to focus. Read scripture, whatever it is. The unfocused mind is the closest thing to the empty mind you'll probably ever actually get. Alan Watts describes it as sitting down in a room and just listening to sounds. Just letting the sounds pass through. Like a radio turned on a certain station, I believe he says. It will pick up whatever is in the air at that time. It will play it until it's done, and it will move on to the next thing. If you're sitting there and the phone rings, and you hear the phone ring, hear the phone ring. Don't try to shut it out. Let it in. Let it in. And then focus on it while it's ringing, and then when it's done, let it go. If there's a bird chirping, focus on the birds chirping, singing that beautiful song that they sing out of doors until they stop. And when they stop, let it go and find something else. Just let these thoughts flow through your mind like leaves on the breeze, passing through as long as it takes them to pass. Right? That's the unfocused mind technique. Instead of going for empty or clear mind, that's what you should be going for if you want to not focus on something. Now, a lot of cultures have meditative focuses. You've got Zen meditation, transcendental meditation, and things like that. But also in the West, we have contemplative, well, not just in the West, but we also have contemplative prayers. If you've ever prayed the rosary, you've meditated. Because you're holding in your hand a bead counter. You're saying certain words over and over again. That's a mudra and a mantra right there. And then at the same time, you're focused on each of the mysteries, each of the mysteries, Oh, well, this is about the Annunciation. This is about, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're doing. I think Islam has something similar that's like 33 to 99 beads. It's the 99 names of Allah. And it's not necessarily a prayer from what I understand. I don't know a lot about Islam. But it's something to help them focus on the 99 names of Allah. And each of the names of Allah in those 99 is an attribute of Allah that will help a Muslim in their daily life. Like, there's something about that and Judaism has that too, and Christianity to a point has that with the names of Christ, the titles that Christ has. There's also mala. I have a mala over here. It's an inexpensive one, and I got it from a store, but it's just a little counter. Just a little bead counter for your mantras. Eastern Orthodox have a prayer rope, and they a lot of the times pray the Jesus prayer on every bead. Dear Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And so that's kind of what's going on there. It's a form of meditation. It's not openly called that necessarily, but that's what it is. And prayer can be meditative. Sports can be meditative. It's really just when you make meditation a lifestyle, when you try to find the focus or release the focus of things in your life for certain periods of time, you will find that it allows you to understand yourself a little better. It helps you with that 5-step process we talked about with emotions: detachment, examination, understanding, experience, and release. And it helps you process other things as well. It helps you process information. It helps you process knowledge. If you have a holy scripture, read through it. Pick a couple of things and just meditate on those. It's easy to do. When you're starting out, just go for like maybe 2 minutes at a time, 3 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time. Work your way up to 10 minutes. Maybe do it 5 minutes once a week. And then maybe go 5 minutes twice a week. Increase the length of your period, the length of your meditation, or the frequency of your meditation, but only over one at a time. Don't jump from 1 5-minute session a week to 2 10-minute sessions a week. That's going to be too much. It's a practice, and you have to practice at it. Like I said, Insight Timer, if you have, I don't know if they have it on iPhone, but I know I have the Insight Timer Android app, and it's super good for that, like things like that. They've got guided meditations. You can find guided meditations here on YouTube. You can find written meditations. You can go to meditation retreats. You can, whatever you need to do. But if you try this, just give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. Okay? Take 5 minutes out of your day, every single day, just to either focus on something or completely lose focus and let everything in. 5 minutes a day for 2 weeks. Come back here and tell me you don't feel better. God bless you guys.